Welcome back to another episode of your new favorite sports show, Gas Presents Sports for the Culture. I'm your host today. You see the name right there. Follow me at Bryce XXVII. As always, I got the dream team with me. I'm talking about MJ. I don't know who's MJ. I'm talking about Chris Mullen. I think I know who Chris Mullen is. And I'm talking about John Stockton. What up, fellas? Hey, bottom left. Introduce yourself.
T Boogie, man. I hope I'm not mulling. You know what I'm saying? At T Boogie, you know what I'm saying? Black Lives Matter, all of that good stuff. I like what everybody doing on their social media. Keep putting the pressure on these people to lock up the cops that killed Breonna Taylor and stay clean. The COVID's coming back to life on us. And wash your hands, wash your ass. Let's go.
Let's get it. Hey, look, man. Chris Mullen. Not only was he a baller, but he was a glue guy that kept the team together. I don't know who Mullen is. But I'm just saying, you got to have a Mullen on the squad. Top left, introduce yourself. What up?
Hey, what up? Scruff Lion, not Chris Mullen. You feel me? You gonna give me anybody? You better give me Charles Barkley or something, dog. Something, bro. You gotta work with me, dog. But you feel me? I'm turned up. I'm ready to go, man. I'm jammed up. I'm ready to go. Jada Versuz. I'm ready to get into it, man. Let's get it going.
Let's get it. Hey, man, it's about to be lit today. Bottom right, last but not least, introduce yourself.
Hey, man, I'm not sure which player I am, but on a personal note, I do want to give a shout out to my wife. Today is her birthday. We celebrating all week, birthday week. Got some more plans for you this weekend, but had to throw the shout out in there. But yeah, man, it's gonna be a hot show tonight, man. So let's get this started.
Let's get it. So let's not even waste any time. Let's jump right into it, man. Biggest news of the day. Why wait? Number one, Cam Newton. He's taking a trip. And where he's taking the trip to is real cold. And it's a man that wears his hoodie real low. Y'all know what I'm talking about, man. Cam to the Patriots. Hey, first reaction, T, what did you think, man? Like Cam Newton about to come in here and just be the Cam of old? Do the Patriots have a plan? How you think it's going to end up?
So first things first, I want to start off with, you follow me on Twitter. You know I called this months ago, late April. I told you Cam to the Patriots makes all the sense in the world. But if Cam is healthy, he's a top 10 guy. I think it makes all the sense. Perfect fit. That contract's a little crazy, but I think it's gonna work.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said, I asked you, do the Patriots have a plan? But we know they have a plan. It really just comes down to if this plan is gonna work, right?
Right. Like we saw what Josh McDaniels did with Tebow. That's always been my sticking point. He won a playoff game with Tebow, who probably shouldn't even have been playing quarterback in the league. What do you think he's gonna do with Cam Newton? It's a passing league. Patriots don't have a lot of targets, to throw the ball to, but they got a defense. And we know the teams that can run the ball and play defense can win late in the season. And I expect the Patriots to eventually start Cam Newton and win some games, win more games than last season.
Nah. I agree with you, man, because one thing we know about the Pats, man, is they put guys in position to succeed. They understand they're not going to just put a guy like when they got Randy Moss. I always think about that. They had Randy Moss going deep every play. They wasn't running Randy Moss on no underneath routes. Like, they know how to put guys in positions to make plays, make them the best player possible. But on the flip side of that, we got a little something called the Patriot way. And if you don't abide by that exact way, that exact code that Bill Belichick expects, it could be a little clash. I mean, Rome, you had a great sound off, man, earlier this week on Gas on the website, man. And hey, I couldn't agree with you more. Can you break that down a little bit? How you think this is going to end? Cam, Belichick, is that a match made in heaven, or we gonna get a little button heads?
Man, I don't think there's gonna be any button heads for real, man. I think there's a couple things to look at with Cam going to New England, man. I think one thing I want to address that we should just throw out the window is some people seem to think there'll be a competition with him instead of him. If Cam's healthy, man, you can throw that out the window. There ain't no competition there at all. The second thing I want to get to, man, is this Bill Belichick thing. They're not going to butt heads at all. Bill Belichick is, let's be frank, he's the GOAT when it comes to NFL coaches, man. Like, we could have a whole debate on that if y'all want to, but I think it's going to end with Bill Belichick being the GOAT. Cam's going to fall right in line with the so-called Patriot way. And I don't know what everybody associates with that. Some people might associate cheating with that. That's a whole other topic that we could have as well. But I think Cam's going to fall right in line with whatever Bill Belichick wants to do. because Bill Belichick's got the rings to back it up. So why wouldn't you? I mean, Chad Johnson fell in line. Randy, you mentioned Randy already. You know what I mean? Anybody who's gone to New England has definitely conformed to the Patriot way, and I don't see Cam being any different, especially considering where he's at in his career. This is about legacy. This is about legacy for him and Bill Belichick. So I think he's definitely going to do what he needs to do, and I think this is a no-brainer, man. He's the best quarterback in the AFC East today, right now, already. So I mean, I think this is a huge message, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with
whole
that.
AFC.
I agree with that, man. Because I like what Josh Allen is becoming, but I think Cam comes in and instantly the best QB in that division. And you know what? I don't know, man. In a sense, I do feel you. I feel like Cam can come in and just, adapt right to that Patriot way. And I hope that I don't know, it's going to be interesting because Cam does have a strong personality, and his personality's never been one that's detrimental to the team at all. You know what I mean? But he is a strong-willed guy. And you also bring up another good point, man. Like Bill Belichick got the rings to back it up. Like what Cam gonna say? He knows what time it is. He's done everything else. I mean, he's been to the Super Bowl. He's been the league MVP. He's knocked literally at every door that you had to knock at to be considered one of the greats of all time. And the last thing you got to do is get that ring. Scruff. Final question, man. Do you think Cam gets the ring in New England?
The ring. That's a big statement. Well, I'll say this. I'm not gonna answer your question directly, but I will say that he has his best chance to win a ring that he's ever had in his career. And not only that, he's in perfect position. He could do more with less. Does he fall in line with the Patriot way? Yes. I think he's got just as good a chance to win championship just as Tom Brady this year. So the way I see it, this is the best move the Patriots can make this late in the game. They did the right move, my friend. They did the right move. Cam Newton, I think it's the right fit in New England, and he's already on a low contract. That's definitely the Patriot way.
Yeah, hey, no doubt, man. And if you ain't saying it, but look, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Cam Newton is getting a chip in New England. I'm telling you right now, man. Like I mentioned, man, Belichick, nobody uses guys like Belichick uses guys, man. Like there hasn't ever, I don't think, been a 3-year run when the Patriots haven't been in the Super Bowl. They perform with a guy like Matt Castle. Come on, man. I guarantee you, I ain't gonna guarantee it, but I got about an 80% chance Cam gets the chip in New England. And I'm surprised not more people getting on that bandwagon of New England, championship aspirations. Maybe not this season, but he gonna ball out this year. They're gonna re-sign the dude. They're not gonna just let him walk like that. I guarantee.
I think if he does it, he better do it this season because he's on
1 year. It's got to be this season. That's what I was about to say, man. So you're saying the Patriots are gonna be at least in the Super Bowl this year. You're guaranteeing at least that.
No. I'm not saying this year. I'm saying like they're gonna end up re-signing that man. They're gonna end up re-signing that man. He gonna ball out. If they don't get this year,
I'll back you, bro. I'll back you with it, man. The Patriots will be in the Super Bowl again this year. This year.
I don't think it's a
given. They got the AFC.
I don't think it's a given that Cam Newton starts. I don't think it starts the season as QB1.
That's the thing, though.
I already threw that out the window.
I don't think it's a given. Check it out. In that offense, right? He knows the playbook. Cam's coming in. Style doesn't perfectly match up. Like the Patriots have to retool what they're doing to kind of fit Cam. And judging by the numbers, league minimum. I haven't seen a team yet come in and, move the building for a guy making the vet minimum. I think it's Stidham's job to lose. You also got to play the race factor. He's a white quarterback in Boston. I mean, I think he's going to get a shot. I think he has to bomb in the preseason to really for Cam's a backup to me right now. I drafted him.
Hold up.
I think he'll have a chance to battle for his starting spot. If it's close, I think they'll give the edge to Stidham. I think they'll play the young guys as close. I think Cam has to be almost unfair, an unfair scenario for Cam to win that starting job.
And logically, that makes sense. That makes sense logically, honestly. I mean,
all right. So look. The first part I got to address. If Bill Belichick wasn't the coach, I think the part about Stidham being white in Boston would hold a lot more. But I don't think Belichick has proven that he's all about winning. I mean, the guy's willing to cheat. So I don't think he's going to let race play a factor. That's my opinion on that. I don't think he's going to let race play a factor in that. I think he's going to play whoever's better, man. And I mean, I don't think any of us can sit here and say that Stidham is better than Newton in any way. The only thing that'll hold him back is an injury, is something like that, man. I think, like, and you got done saying Tebow, Josh McDaniels and Tebow. So I think they'll make the offense fit for Cam. And I think if Cam bombs, I think they'll switch back to their regular, Stidham offense, whatever that's going to look like. But I mean, I'm a Stidham guy, and I'm also a Cam guy, bro. And it's night and day difference, and I don't mean that in skin tone, but it's just night and day difference, just period. In talent wise,
Yeah,
in leadership ability, and in talent on the field. But yeah, you can take that how you want it, man. I just think you could throw the whole Stidham thing out the window. You drafted him for a reason, and I'm trusting your fantasy expertise on this one. I think deep down Cam Newton's going to be playing, and I think the AFC, man. I can't think of a team right now off the top of my head. It's still only June, July. I can't think of a team off the top of my head that strikes more fear in me than the Patriots in the AFC right now with Cam Newton as the quarterback.
The Chiefs.
You make some good points
on a consistent basis.
No, this was a chess move by Belichick, man. I'm telling you.
Hey,
It's a 1-year deal on a vet minimum. If he needs to run Cam into the ground, he will run Cam into the ground, bro. Like,
I think we're gonna get a good Cam Newton this year, though. I think
we're gonna get a healthy. He had the whole season off. Basically. He played like 1.5 games. Cam Newton, and he's got something to prove. Belichick's got something to prove. He wants to outshine Brady. This is going to be a good year for Cam, man.
You literally have to run him into the ground. There's no receiving threats. Edelman led the league in drops. You know what I'm saying? He'll have to run him into the ground, and maybe that works, but I don't know.
Cam has never really had weapons, though.
He is a weapon. Yeah.
The ultimate weapon, Superman.
Man, nah. One thing I say, though, is with Cam Newton, you got to have the running game. And I think we all realize that the running game is essential to Cam's success, and not just him running the ball, but some good backs. So I'm just telling y'all fantasy football guys, hoard those New England running backs. Now, my little plan in our dynasty league, to grab the whole Patriots offense kind of went sour, because I did draft Jarrett Stidham before Cam Newton thing happened. It kind of went sour a little bit, but I'm telling you,
took a turn quicker than expected.
I'll take him. But look. Right, we're gonna talk after the show. But I'm telling you, the Patriots are gonna be running the rock this year. And if you can't see it, just trust me. Rex Burkhead, Sony Michel, my boy Harris, get them all. Even James White, because it's gonna be a lot of running. Even I hate to drop this gem in front of these guys, but even Dalton Keene, he runs the ball. Tight end they just drafted. Patriots gonna be run heavy this year, guarantee you that.
Isn't Stidham an Auburn guy? He's an Auburn guy, right?
Yep.
Two Auburn quarterbacks,
just like him,
competing. This brings me to another matchup. If you was watching that versus two New York guys, man, both of them go to for features. They give you bars. They kill the mixtape scene. New York stalwarts, Jada and Fab. Seen the versus? You all seen it? We all seen it? We all on the same page? Okay, making sure. Hey, man, I need to hear some opinions. Let me go to Scruff, man. What you think? Fab or Jada?
Hey, honestly, this was the best versus matchup that we have had so far. So I was definitely loving it, and I gotta give the edge to Jada, man. Jada came strong with the first 10. This was like truly a chess match, if any chess match of tacticians and lyricists. Fab came weak in the first 10. Jada hit him strong in the first 10, and then Fab tried to do what he do. He had his things going. It was great on both sides, but give me Jada. I had it probably about 12-8. You know what I'm saying? Something like that.
Hold up. I'm gonna stay with you real quick. Who did you think was gonna win?
Who did I think was gonna win? Honestly, I love Jada, but like I thought Fab was gonna I thought Fab was gonna probably pull it out. I wasn't sure. I was favoring Jada, but I was surprised that so many people was riding the Jada wave the way that everybody else was. I was fucking with it though.
What about you, Rome? I know you anticipated that matchup. You know what I'm saying? You're a big fan of both of those guys.
Hey, man, so I got to keep it all the way 100 right here, man. All right, so like you'll see like my Twitter handle, my Instagram handle, all that is Young Rome 22. So what that comes from is I'm a huge Fabulous fan. Is truth be told, I've been a fan since I was young.
Nice.
He had a clothing line, Rich Young, right? So my handles used to be Rich Young Rome. anybody that knows me that's watching this will attest to this. So I dropped the Rich part off of it and always kept the Young Rome on it. So whole time, man, I was definitely rooting for Fab in this one. But I'm gonna keep it objective. I'm gonna keep it real, man. I gotta give the battle to Jada. But I gotta say Fab is a much more well-rounded rapper all around. I think if he would have stayed in his lane a little bit more, if you notice when he was the one when it switched to him leading the songs first, that's when he started to make that big comeback and it got a little bit more even. Really, what I think it was the energy that Jada was bringing. I mean, like it's been a while since I've been as lit as Jada, man. Like I'm trying to be Jada drunk all summer, like the hashtags, bro. But I got to give the battle to Jada, man, and I just got to be honest about it. I'm a huge Fab fan, but yeah, Jada definitely got that W.
Okay. So that's 2 for Jada. I'm gonna go ahead and add my third for Jada before we swing it to Bryce. I'm trying to feel as good as Jada, so I bring out the big cup. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's gonna do it, but that boy was saucy up there. But Bryce, what you think, man? I saw the face when he said Fab was when he
man, I think
go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, I think y'all know what I thought about it, cause we talked about this a little bit before the battle, and I had Jada winning it before it started, and I'm gonna tell y'all why just a little bit, right? Because Fab, I'm gonna give Fab credit. Fab is a true gamer, cause he was in a tough position in this battle, cause it's like he didn't have too many lanes, he didn't have too many plays he really could have played and to get the victory. Now the one play everybody wishes he would have done is just play all his chick songs, right? But if you don't play 20 straight chick songs versus Jada, you really about to get smoked. Because Jada got nothing but hardcore bars, just hitting your chest every line, right? Now, I think what really gave Jada the edge is I think when you look back at the battle, he had 3 songs or 3, I guess 2 weren't songs, but 2 of them he wrote. But he had 3 tracks that Fab just couldn't touch, in my opinion. That was the 2 that he wrote for Diddy. You talking about classic, timeless, all time hip hop stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. Like, I mean, it's just it was almost unfair. It was almost unfair.
It was.
And then his last track, what he hit is the last one.
We gonna make
it. That's the other one, in my opinion, that is just like it's tough for Fab to play. What Fab gonna throw against We Gonna Make It? You gonna tell me it's a better song? We Gonna Make It is like that's a rapper singing, a hardcore rapper singing melodies where it's like, but it make you bop and make you feel. And it was tough for Fab, you know what I'm saying? Now he could have went the route, played 20 straight feature hits, where it's mostly, that chick talk, that slick talk. But he went the route of a real gamer. He tried to play some of his hard stuff, and that's why I really rock with Fab. You know what I'm saying? I don't think really it's hard for me to say Jada won because I don't think Fab played necessarily to win. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about who the better rapper, if you're talking about who the better rapper, Jada said it best himself when he said top 5 dead or alive, and that's just off one LP. I'm not saying Jada's top 5. What I'm saying is he's in the conversation, bro. And to me, Fab's not in the conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When I say better rapper, I mean like better artist, better all around. If you're talking MC, just bar for bar, I'll give it to Jada. And that's more that like I was even about to say Jada's built more for the verses type, especially based off how you just broke it down. You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking for like overall artistry for everybody, for like all inclusiveness and stuff like that, you would definitely go to Fab. But I mean, let's be honest, man. This was a setup, bro. Fab had no real chance. Like you're right. Fab's a gamer and he tried to play his street shit, but his street shit just doesn't compare to Jada, bro. Jada's a street legend. Like this was set up for Jada to slam dunk it, and he did.
One of Fab's best 3 songs actually had Jada on it, dog. Like I was bumping that joint earlier. I'm just like, man, this joint really Jada.
I mean, Jada even said if you
songs as a feature. But nah, Fab could have played it differently. There was a couple songs he could have. If you was trying to hit him hard early, all right. If I'm Fab, I'm coming with throw it in the bag remix with Drake.
That's what I'm saying. Like
that would have been a jam. I mean, that's a chick song, but that's a jam.
Jada didn't even play wide. Bro. He didn't even hit him with wide.
Yeah, I was waiting for wide, man. That's what I was waiting for.
After the battle, the DJs ran off about 5 or 6, 7 straight hits from each group. You know what I'm saying? But one thing I noticed, I felt like Fab is probably a top artist of his generation, right? and he had a tear, a hot run where he was on every feature, every chick joint. That to me, his albums always lukewarm. He can't pick a beat, but he kills every feature. He has classic mixtapes. But Jada, like you said, is a living legend. Jada is one of those names you can talk about, top 5, top 10, and Fab was a little out of his league. I mean, just overall. If you're talking about just the charts, yeah, I mean, Fab has charted way more times than Jada, but Jada had features too. But Jada just got some of them banned from TV. He had Victory, All About the Benjamins. He had songs that if you don't know at least the beat, you don't know hip hop. So I feel like Jada won just off of the overall package, man. And he had more energy than Fab. Fab DJ was. What was the DJ doing?
Fab DJ was
Come on, man.
Bro. He was
The DJ lost it for him, bro.
Like,
The DJ
I ain't
lost
trying
it
to
for
play
him.
that right now. I was like, bro, you don't play that joint, and it was a jam, bro. Like, y'all not gonna play Breathe? Like, come on, dog. Like, he's like, no, I ain't trying to play that right now. Like, what?
Yeah, man. Fab
one of the hardest tracks he laid.
Fab was out there with, catching plays from the coach, like a DJ's the coach, and he was the quarterback, man. Jada was talking on Fab songs. Jada cut off Fab songs to tell stories. He said, "I'm gonna married today."
When Fab tried to hit him with "So Into You," Jada was like, "Oh, this is my favorite jump. Stop, hold up." He paused the whole jump, bro. Like,
I think that kind of reflected the dynamic between the two of them. Like, you know,
Elder Stacey.
Fab looking at it just like we are. You know, Jada's the big homie, like to Fab. You know, although Fab he been in the game for a minute, Jada was rapping for Biggie. You know, rapping with Biggie, I should say. You know what I'm saying? Writing for Puff. Like, he come from that generation right before Fab. So Fab even looking at him like the big homie. It's like your big homie snapping, telling you to stop the music. It just is what it is, because that's the position in each other's lives. And I think that's one of the best things about that battle. You know what I'm saying? And you saw that in the battle with Beanie Man too. Like, when you get two guys that, you know, they got love for each other, you know what I'm saying? And it's all positivity in the room, no matter how it ends up. It might be funny, it might get crazy, but it's positivity. You can't beat that, man. You can't beat that. And that's a classic moment, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey, but we all agree though, this was hands down the best battle, right?
No.
I like the T-Pain Lil Jon was classic too.
T-Pain Lil Jon was up there.
I don't know, man.
For the rapper, for the spitters, dog, this was a battle. This was a battle.
It was a battle, bro. You seen the Neo? You see the Neo joint?
Neo and
That's
Johnson.
Cool and shit, but I'm talking about for the rappers, for the spitters. This was Jada versus, I don't know, bro. I'm from Jersey, bro. I'm from Tri-State, Northeast, bro. Jada and Fab that's my guys, bro. Besides like Hov, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my guys. Like, this is like top 5 on my list. Everything that I grew up on. So like Jada versus Fab to me is like the Knicks and the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's as good as it gets. You know what I'm saying? Like, Celtics, Lakers, I should say, not the Knicks. The Knicks is trash.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, but before we get off this though, who should be the next battle, man? Who y'all want to see next?
Man, I feel like it's only.
Oh yeah, bro.
I feel like it's only one, man, that I really, really want to see, and that's. I want to find out who the real trap god is, man. You know, who's the king of the trap? Is it T.I.? Is it Jeezy? Or is it my guy Gucci? Honestly, we might need to have the first three screen battle, man. We need 3 screens, and we need Gucci versus T.I. versus Jeezy. Because I want to see them guys, man, honestly.
Ain't gonna be no positivity with that one, man.
Hey, that might be the one we need. That might be the one we need.
You know what? Honestly, they need. It's not the next battle, but they need to work themselves up to like some Jay-Z, Nas level stuff. You feel me? Like then
that ain't happening. You know that ain't happening. That ain't happening. Then
you got my attention. We're working our way up there though. Jada and Fab is some real legends, dog.
I mean, I personally, like, outside of the trap stuff, I personally like to see a Wiz Khalifa versus like a J. Cole, because I think Wiz might upset J. Cole, man. I think
it's a weird matchup though.
I mean, they both from that same era. Wiz, J. Cole, Kendrick, Wale, like. But I think
Kendrick versus J. Cole would be a good matchup. I feel like they've been doing more old heads. If they did something of a little bit of a fresher outlook generation, the J. Cole Kendrick would be a good choice.
I don't know, man. I mean, of course, that's the obvious one. I want to see some fireworks, man, because those guys are really friendly with each other. I want to see somebody like a Wiz that has record after record after record, but you don't hear about them as much. You know what I'm saying? You hear them on the radio, but you don't really hear about them in the rap circles when you talk about them. But I've been following the guy since Prince of City too. I think he could really sneak up on a J. Cole and shock some of these J. Cole fans.
Oh yeah, especially when you're talking 20
got
tracks.
hits, honestly.
Once
Wiz
you,
could upset
20
J. Cole.
tracks.
yeah, once you
20
start
tracks.
talking 20 tracks, man, Wiz got 20 tracks that can bang with anybody. I'm talking
J. Cole
about
would have a hard
just
time.
Flight School and Cushion OJ alone. He got 20 tracks that you can bang with anybody from that era. I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be tough for me to decide.
See, you make a good point,
If
though.
they do start going young though, and they start with J. Cole, I feel like you got to go J. Cole versus Kendrick, because to me that would just be like, I feel like that's always the argument when I talk to people. Everybody's opinion comes down to either J. Cole, Kendrick, J. Cole, Kendrick. Honestly, if they're not in your top 5, like doing it right now, I'm not talking about the old heads, but doing it right now, if you don't got them two up high in your top, like I don't know, I question how you even listening, how you really even listening. Them guys got to be somewhere in that 10, that 5 or that 10, in my opinion.
You're right.
J. Cole not my top 5 for the young rappers.
Cole
for the young
is in there. Cole's in there.
I gotta hear a good album.
Cole was shot
not a
personally,
mixtape, not a compilation, not a feature. I gotta hear a classic album. Kendrick has one, maybe 2. I gotta hear a classic Cole album for me to start talking about him a little more positive.
I feel you. Cole, you know what? Here's how I judge it. Man. I was just talking to somebody about this too, yo. It's crazy. I judge rappers like this, man. There's 3 categories you have to meet, right? First is flow. Everybody know what flow is. It's, how are you creating a beat with your own words, with your own melodies on the beat? Can you do that? Second, I look at rhyming. You got to be able to put words together. You got to be able to rhyme words together, make words that might not really supposed to rhyme. You got to be able to do that. If you can't, you're not up there for me. And third is content. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about? What is the message? Does it have a message? Is there anything to it? Now, when I weigh those 3, right, I don't think Cole is 100 in any of those 3 categories. But to me, and this is the same how I look at his albums, he's like a 90 or maybe like an 88, 89 in all 3. Where like Kendrick to me has like 100 in one of the categories, maybe like a 78 in the other, and everybody else kind of varies around that. Maybe it's closer for Kendrick. It might be like 100 and then like 285s. But Cole is just so well-rounded as a rapper to me. Like, he checks all the boxes to me.
The thing about Cole is I don't think he would do well in the versus format. I like J. Cole, but I'll be honest with it. I love J. Cole, but I go through moments with him. Like I'll be in a Cole mood, then I'll be not in a Cole mood for a long time. So like it happens. And same thing with Kendrick too. So the thing about Cole is if he going against somebody like Wiz Khalifa, who got just kind of like fair weather stuff that can kind of play in all different weathers, all different kind of vibes, he might have a hard time in the versus matchup. Oh, my man got the mask on. He ain't playing.
Nah, but that's a fact, though, Vision. Fab did play it all smooth, man. He wasn't tripping about nothing. That's a fact. We kind of
Fab is a cool
guy.
Hey, that's Fab's MO, man. That's Fab's MO. He always plays it smooth.
Yeah, ain't no bothering to do like Fab, man.
He has some interesting choice of pants on. I don't know if anybody peeped my man Hammer pants.
Hey, what do you think he was doing when he kept going off camera, man? All them extra bathroom breaks.
Jada was up there talking like an avocado.
Hey, Jada was dressed like that uncle at the cookout, man. I respected it.
Jada funny as heck, man. I was
wild boy,
bro. I was.
Hey, my man said, "Hey, go ahead, bro. We gotta post this one." Oh my, he going on us. Got the neck beard. Hey, why you have to say neck beard though, Don? Don, disrespect. Hey, Don, you disrespectful, Don. But we appreciate you watching, man. For sure.
Hey, the barbershop just opened up, man. The barbershop just opened up.
You know what I'm saying? Literally, like we can barely even get straight, man.
Oh, that was Fab clothing line.
And Fab versus Jada, it seems like we all agree, man. Jada got the dub.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's keep it pushing, man. Let's keep it pushing. The NBA is they're trying to make this thing happen. They say they're going to make it happen. I think we all resign to the fact that they're going to do it, COVID or not. And schedule's out. Hopefully, everyone's took a look at the schedule. Any matchups you guys are looking for? Anybody you want to see? Any predictions, thoughts, comments? Scruff, you want? Matter of fact, let me go to Bryce. Bryce, I think you take this stuff real serious about that.
Hey man, I'm taking it real serious, and I'm gonna let you know, man. Everybody's sleeping on my Wizards, but no, I'm just playing. Man. I ain't about to. We don't got no shot, man. We don't got no shot, but it's all good. I'm happy I get to see my team rock one more time. But a couple games I've highlighted, man, that I'm really looking forward to, man. I mean, obviously Lakers and the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? That's on the 30th, so they coming out the gate strong with that. And I think everyone's gonna have their eye on the Lakers and the Clippers, and I think that game might just give us a real good idea of which team's going to come out of LA as the dominant team of the entire league. So I do think whichever one of those teams able to ascend, you know, as the playoffs near, whichever one of those teams able to ascend, I think they're going to be the top team, really, you know, in the power rankings, so to say. Now, on the East Coast, I think it's going to get interesting because I think that the East Coast is much more of a crapshoot. You got all these guys, man. None of them played ball over the last couple months. Everybody been home chilling. Not gonna say everybody. Most people been home chilling. You got a little bit of that Mamba mentality in you. You've been grinding away the whole time. So we about to really find out who's been grinding away the whole time. And I think in this type of format, we could be surprised. One team I'm really excited to see play is Toronto Raptors. I got high hopes for the Raptors coming into this, and I think they'll probably be the team to emerge from the East.
And we laughing at you, right?
Funny. This is a funny point I made. This is a funny point. Hilarious.
Hey,
come out the East.
Hey, if you right, man, that's a bottle on me, man. I send that to you.
Man, hey, I need a bottle for me. I don't need a bottle from everybody laughing. I need a bottle from everybody laughing, man.
All right.
Bro, that's you, dude. You were there cracking up.
Oh man.
Hey, it was so legit that you threw the Raptors at us. It was like, oh, you turn.
Oh
all right. Hey, Ron, what you think, man? You probably have a little bit more sense than the Toronto boys.
All right, I'm gonna go a little bit of a different route, man. Yeah, that Toronto stuff kind of threw me off. That I gotta check my notes real quick, see where I was even about to say.
Changed since COVID, man. They got no COVID.
The most exciting game though that I'm looking forward to as far as the schedule release is definitely that first one, man. Lakers Clippers. We ain't had no sports, and we ain't had no basketball since COVID really started. I mean, when you think about it, they shut games down like midway. So I am very excited for that very first game. And the Lakers, man, I think the Lakers they got it. They're gonna win this whole thing. And really, bro, I think this is gonna be an even bigger thing. I think because we're gonna talk about social justice here in a minute, and we're gonna talk about a certain documentary on Colin Kaepernick. But I think what's going to happen with this little COVID NBA season and LeBron, who's going to win the chip, I think they're going to make a documentary on this. I think LeBron is about to do some major things. I don't know if y'all seen the news, the stuff that he's getting into. And I know we talked about it on the show, even with the initiative to vote and all that. And I think LeBron, man, he's about to position himself for something beyond just sports. I think he's going to get his chip this year. And I think he's really going to start positioning himself to make some political moves, man. And I'm gonna make a bold statement. I think down the line we could see a LeBron presidential run. I really do, man. I know everybody gonna pause and look at me kind of crazy with that, bro. But like, I think it's gonna start with this, man. I think LeBron's gonna use this platform and he's gonna talk big social justice, bro. I think LeBron has a unique opportunity to grab a lot of people because LeBron is a lot like MJ in the sense where you can't deny his talent, whether you however you feel about politics or whatever. LeBron is the kind of guy where you're gonna listen to what he's saying just because of who he is. So if he can maneuver and do things the right way, I think he could parlay this into something big. But as far as basketball, I think LeBron is going to dominate this whole thing. I think nobody's going to be more locked in than him. I think he knows that he can use this to cement his legacy. This will end the debate because even if you don't think he's better than Jordan, he's going to use this as something to say, well, he's LeBron, and we ain't going to compare him because he's LeBron. So that's my take on this next or what's going to happen for this NBA season. It's the first step to the LeBron presidency. You heard it here first.
So Scruff, we got Toronto coming out of the East, and we got LeBron running for president.
I'm not getting behind that one. All right,
this is spun off into a bold segment.
I don't know about
Bold
candidate
segment. Scrub, do you have any comments, thoughts, and bold predictions? I need to hear.
Honestly, after what I say, y'all gonna think that I wasn't the one that was drinking. Cause like honestly, what I see is hold up.
man.
LeBron not qualified to run for office, man. He needed
hey, bro, he can still get one.
Right though. He got a good point though.
He get an honorary doctorate.
It's never too late.
Real shit though.
Shot doctor.
Hey. Where your degree, Doc? For real. Nah, for real though. LeBron ain't the president, man, but he about to make a run. Most likely. It's a good chance. So I think it's gonna come down to the Lakers and the Clippers in the West. I think that's not nothing too far-fetched that I'm saying here, but it's gonna come down to those two teams. Ultimately, with a shortened amount of time and everything's gonna come down to a heat, it's gonna come down to cream going rise to the top. It's gonna be Lakers versus Clippers. I think LeBron is gonna come out. I feel you wrong. He's gonna have a nice little run. It ain't gonna be a presidential run, but he's gonna get political. You're right about that. Because when LeBron gets on the mic, just like when I get on the mic, sometimes you get the energy, you get the feeling. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to say, and you just get in the moment. You say, you know what? F it. I'm about to say what I feel like saying right now. And LeBron has done it on the NBA mic more than once. He's about to do it a couple times during this little run during this COVID. You best believe it. So, yeah, he's going to make some statements. I think the Lakers will ultimately come out the East. And then I don't see how Toronto's going to come out the East, unfortunately. I think in the run of the season, maybe they would have had a chance. But after the COVID situation, like I said, cream is going to rise to the top. So ultimately, I think that it's a very easy situation for Giannis to muscle through to the East. The only true threat I have in the East right now is going to be between two teams I think could potentially be wild card teams in the East right now, winning the East.
Let me guess.
Relax, my friend. Let me do my job. Thanks. Boston Celtics, I think, have a legitimate shot to win the East. Honestly, before this joint ended, they were in the hot seat. They were winning a lot of games. Jason Tatum was playing at the top of his game. Right now, he's the most overrated player on NBA Twitter, but it's because he was literally the most hottest player right before the shit shut down. So watch out for Boston. Watch out. I'm saying they could win it. Crazy. They can win the East, but they're not going to win the whole thing. But watch out for Boston. That would be my first pick as a wild card team. And I'm going to say it just because I got to say it. Don't sleep on the Sixers. They might actually have a run. I don't think it's going to happen, but I say out of anything,
why are you saying it?
I gotta check my boxes in, Bryce. Come on.
I feel that. And I do feel you. I do feel you with that sentiment that the cream gonna rise to the top. You know, I agree with that, and especially because a lot of guys, you know, these I think it's gonna hurt the super duper athletic guys more than it hurts the super duper skilled guys. That's just my opinion. I think that maybe you're looking at it like it's gonna hurt the super athletic guy. I mean, the super skilled guys a little more.
Yeah, I see a team. They've been out of the gym. Giannis gonna muscle you. Giannis don't need to be in the gym every day to muscle you down into the paint. That's all I know.
I feel that. But
I promise you.
I'm gonna tell you this: Boston, they don't. Well, this is my opinion. They don't have what it takes anymore. You know what I mean? I think that Al Horford was a huge piece to what they were building, what they had when they were starting to get back in those playoff runs. And now he's gone, you know what I mean? And I don't see that playoff pedigree. See, this is one thing I hold very high. And y'all know this. Scrub, you know this. The playoff pedigree means a whole lot. And people overlook this a whole lot. And I don't want none of y'all to forget. The Raptors, I get it. They had Kawhi Leonard. Cool, right? They got the same record, damn near identical record, 3 years without Kawhi Leonard. And they got the same record again this year, right? But this year, that whole team has championship experience. They don't just have making it to the championship experience. The whole team has winning the championship experience. And if you think that's not enough to get you to the Eastern Conference Finals alone, you're sadly mistaken. I can almost guarantee you the Raptors are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. I think the experience they're going to bring to it is going to win it for them. Now, I can almost guarantee, and I'm almost willing to take any bet that anyone willing to put up that the Raptors are in the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm willing to put bread on it.
I got to
So
see.
y'all think the Celtics and the Sixers and the Bucks, which is believable, but put your money where your mouth is, Scruff. You love to say that.
Hey, I love to put my money where my mouth is. First of all, you're forgetting one major thing about the money that went down, and for the Raptors to win the championship, they had to win it, and they had to go through the East. And they only went through the East and beat the Sixers because Kawhi Leonard shot. Without Kawhi Leonard, they're not winning. They're not winning.
That's not the only reason they win.
They're not winning. Kawhi Leonard is the X factor. That's what made them good. They were getting destroyed.
Year.
They were the joke of the East. They were the joke of the East. Oh yeah, they were over here.
Dwayne Casey was coach of the year,
owning them year after year, bro. Until Kawhi Leonard.
Because it's LeBron. He's the best player in the world. Dwayne Casey was coach of the year. They fired him after he was coach of the year. You know what that means? That means you had the best record in the league. That was without Kawhi Leonard. That was with DeMar DeRozan.
He got fired the same year.
Guess who replaced that? Pascal Siakam. And what is he looking like? He's looking like probably one of the best players in the East, top 3 right now, in my opinion. So you can look at it how you like. I'm trying to tell you, Toronto Raptors are something to be reckoned with right now. Guaranteed.
Top 3.
In my opinion, after this season,
that's how Giannis. He ain't better than Jimmy Butler. He ain't better than Joel Embiid, man. Period.
I mean, the Raptors remind me of.
I take him over every guy on that list except Giannis.
The Raptors kind of remind me of the Pistons that went on that run with a bunch of guys that might not be the top of their position, but they play well together. They're well coached, and they can get it done. Like they're willing to get into a dogfight with you. But I just feel like after this layoff, like kind of the opposite of what you said. I think the skill guys suffer the most when you haven't been playing competitively. I think, like I said, Giannis can muscle you. The athletic guys, you can still run and jump, especially the young guys. They're still going to be able to run, jump, outlet, fast break, dunk, throw oops. I think the teams with the most talent in this situation, not the most coaching. I think the teams with the most talent, with Boston, the Sixers, the Bucks, I think those 3 teams are the teams to beat just because in any gym, in any country, coaches, no coaches, they have pure talent. You know what I'm saying? It's just a large group of talented athletes, man.
Well, one thing I'll definitely do is I'll argue the talent. I don't think that the Celtics, definitely not the Sixers, are just way more talented than the Raptors. I don't see where that, and I get it. I mean, I understand it, but I just don't agree. I mean, you talking about Kyle Lowry. If you're talking about best point guards in the East, where does Kyle Lowry rank? He got to be in your top 5. He has to be. So they got one of the best point guards in their conference. They got, in my opinion, probably the second best small forward in their conference. They got one of the best centers over a defensive player of the year at center, the former defensive player of the year at center. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start looking at somebody, Fred VanVleet, probably one of the most underrated players in the NBA.
Probably.
So you agree? So you agree, though? I'm just saying, bro. Like,
these are
that talent up next to the Sixers. I don't know.
They're not strong words, my friend. They lost Kawhi Leonard, bro. That's the biggest thing.
I get that, bro.
They had DeMar DeRozan, who was a
lost an X factor.
Then they had Kawhi Leonard, who was a superstar player, and then he just left. And
I'm not disagreeing with
that. Everybody else became much more confident, which made them a better team overall. But I don't see them having the firepower. When it comes down, push comes to shove, I love Kyle Lowry. Trust me, I love this kid. I got his autograph back in the day somewhere in my closet hanging up. I promise you, I love the kid. He's got game, and he's proven it and overcome everything he has. But I don't think they got the guy that's going to close this game out for them. But that's why I'd say I'd take the Bucks or the Celtics over them. Okay, if I do buy that, I would have to ask you, right? Who is this talent pool? Let me ask first. Who is this talent pool in these other teams that are so much better than what the Raptors have in their talent pool? I just want to know. Like, the Celtics got a big 3, right? I say the Sixers have a big 3, right? And in my opinion, the Raptors have a big 3. And like those other teams, they have a lot of young guys, a lot of young studs around those dudes who get the job done. And they all stepped up huge in that championship run. Like guys were stepping up huge in that championship run. And my boy Siakam just carried the torch this season as the best player on the team. And I really think they're gonna be tough. And don't forget where their head coach comes from, man. Where's it come from?
Yeah, I never knew.
Nick Nurse?
He's had a good first season. I'll tell you that.
He's a Spurs assistant, right?
Okay.
So was Brett Brown. That's not saying much.
That's not saying much.
I'm not gonna fake the funk, man. Spurs assistant, if that's all he's got, man, it's a lot of those, man. It's a lot of those. Brett Brown, he about to be a free agent.
Brett Brown is what hold y'all's team together. You better stop playing with Brett Brown. Y'all get rid of Brett Brown to see how good y'all
get me started on Brett Brown. Don't even get me started on Brett Brown.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you, y'all got it good with Brett Brown. You better. I'm trying to let you know, because what y'all got there is a whole bunch of pieces that do not fit together like a puzzle. Y'all just got a whole crazy puzzle that's just like it don't work. I love the guys. They all top 25 guys.
Nah, thinking about it on paper, you might have a point about the Raptors having some guys, but I don't know. We got to see it play out because I'm just not a believer without Kawhi. Maybe it's because they're in Canada, but I don't know. I'm not a believer. But let's get on to something more serious, more pressing, more in the moment, more up to date with current times. Just a lot of social justice issues have been all over the news cycle, in the households, on the internet, social media. Colin Kaepernick has a new documentary that just finished, I think, writing or filming. But basically, he's working with Ava DuVernay. If you don't know her, she's from the I can't think of the name of the documentary off the top of my head, but the Central Park Five, who the exonerated five at this point that we know. Basically, they're working on a documentary to show Kaepernick's formative years through high school, black guy adopted by white parents in a white community, and how that led to him being the social justice activist that he is now. What are you guys' thoughts on Netflix partnering up with Kaepernick to put out this documentary?
Man, I'm excited to see it. I think it's going to be following his life leading up to the NFL, from what I gathered. But whenever you see certain names attached to certain productions, you can expect quality. So when I saw Ava DuVernay's name attached, I'm expecting something powerful. Definitely looking forward to watching it. I'm looking more forward to Cap eventually getting the shot that he rightfully deserves. But so until that happens, I don't think even a great documentary won't really write what's going on. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's good to have, a better. It would be cool to have a good insight into how he came to being the activist that he is today. So I'm definitely excited. To check it out.
Ava DuVernay, When They See Us. That's the one I'm talking about. But Ron, what do you think, man? How do you feel about this?
Man, I'm excited for it. I think it's perfect. I think obviously Colin Kaepernick has a lot of supporters, but he also has a lot of haters, right? So I think this is perfect for everyone to get an inside look on who he really is, because I feel like there's a lot of mystery about him. I feel like he's not like as active on social media as most people would be today. You know what I mean? He doesn't necessarily have press conferences. You don't see him on the news talking or nothing like that. So I feel like this is perfect for people to really get a chance to get to know him that might not have reached out and looked into information about Colin Kaepernick. Everybody's got Netflix. I think everybody will be talking about this. Everybody was watching Tiger King, so I think they'll definitely check out the Kaepernick documentary. But I think it's great, man. And I actually want to throw a question to you guys, man, because I feel like we're all living in this moment, right, where Kaepernick took this huge stand and he's becoming a huge part of history. Similar to other athletes like Muhammad Ali. But where I want to know what you guys think. Like, where would you guys place Colin Kaepernick, like, in the history books? And I know obviously we're living it right now, so that makes it a little difficult. But where do you guys think Kaepernick is as far as how history is going to look back on him?
That's a great question.
I'm gonna jump.
I'm
gonna jump right in and tell you. I think this is a guy we're going to be talking about to our kids. I think we're going to be. He needs to be written into upcoming history books. I mean, the guy pretty much is a martyr. Like, he sacrificed his career, and I still don't think he's going to get it back. But he sacrificed his career to do what's right. And it's not too many more things that's more noble than that. Especially in today's society where people clout chase. He went the total opposite way and basically turned down the fame, the fortune, the bright lights to stand up for something he believed in. So I'm proud of him, proud to have witnessed it, proud that I was a 49ers fan when he did it, and I supported him the whole time. If you follow me on Twitter, I was behind it, top the socks and all that. And looks like the guy was right, man, all along. But we knew that. A lot of us knew that. But go ahead, Scott.
Honestly, I was just gonna speak to. I'm glad you spoke up, T, because that's real. Coming from a 49ers fan, I'm gonna just tell you from like just somebody that's living in this generation, man. Like I always had love for Muhammad Ali, and I will definitely have love for Colin Kaepernick forever, just because like what he did, he took the sacrifice. Ultimately, like he'll probably never play the game again, but ultimately what he did was way greater than what he could ever do on the field. And that's no shade to what he's done on the field, just because what he did like outside of the field was just so much greater. Ultimately, Netflix is a great place for this thing to go, because generally the consensus of America, they gravitate towards Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Netflix tends to make things go more public, things to make things go more viral. Netflix had everybody out here being vegan for like at least a couple weeks of their life. Let's be honest. I did it too. I still do it sometimes, but it's real. Like they will educate you on some stuff. Like, and that's what people need to be educated on. Sometimes when you need to sit down, you don't got nothing going on, you don't know what to watch, go ahead and put on Netflix, man. Most likely it's not even your subscription. So you can go ahead and jump on there. You can learn about whatever the heck's going on out there. Finally, not say finally, they do a lot of good stuff. So shout out to Netflix, but this is the right move. It's going to get generally more people talking about Colin Kaepernick. He's going to be up there with Muhammad Ali and all those other people in terms of what he's did in terms of what is a social justice statement from an athlete. Unfortunately, Muhammad Ali, you could say he did it on both ends because he continued to his legacy while he was doing that. And Colin Kaepernick did not get the opportunity to do that. Not that he would have lived up to the Muhammad Ali standard, but he is definitely in this current landscape huge. And I applaud Netflix and everybody in the production for taking on this story because it needed to be told. It needs to continue to be told.
I agree. When you leave here, all you have left is your legacy, and his legacy is going to be vast, and it needs to all be documented. It needs to be all recorded properly so people can honor it properly. And I think he's doing the right thing. He's obviously going to recoup some of the money that he lost, which I think is a beautiful thing too, because you shouldn't have to, bankrupt yourself or throw it all away, for doing the right thing. That's not the country we want to live in. That's not the country we want our kids to grow up in. So I'm glad to see him partner up with Netflix. There's more social justice out here. I don't know if anybody's still been keeping up with NASCAR, but they released pictures of the garage pool. It's exactly what I thought it was. Who else saw that picture, and what was your thoughts, man?
Man, let me jump in one time, man, because obviously, I missed last week, but it was good to see y'all boys hit on some of that stuff, man. Because that whole Bubba Wallace stuff that whole situation was crazy. I mean, talking about a rope pool, I get it. Like, everyone's used a rope pool before. But to even know, like, if I had a rope right now, I could not make you a noose. Like, that's just a fact. I don't know how to make a noose. And I do believe that if you know how to make a noose, you're probably a racist. I'm willing to go with that. I'm willing to go with a blanket statement and just say, if you know how to make a noose, you're a racist. And it's just like, because that's not something that people know how to do unless you're from a certain ilk. And it's not necessarily that noose wasn't meant to kill anybody. That noose was meant to be a warning, right? And you would guess that whoever fashioned that noose in that way wasn't a 80 or 90-year-old person. So they couldn't even say they come from that, right? They were obviously taught that. So it just gives you a little insight to that. These are things that are still being taught to people, and they still know how to do it, and they know how to show these warning signs. And I think that's really what it was. It was just a warning to Bubba Wallace. Fortunately, man, he wasn't standing for it. It's a shame that, the report came out like it did to almost discredit him, try to make him look like a Jussie Smollett. But that clearly wasn't the case, man. And T, like you said, man, the picture proved that.
That just got me mad, yo. That just got me mad, yo.
Talk about it. Talk
Nah,
about it.
because the whole there's no disrespect. I ain't even trying to take Bubba Wallace situation because that was legit. Jussie Smollett situation is really crazy, but they really dragged my man about this ish, and it got crazy. I'm just like, damn, poor dude. Honestly, I had a little bit of sympathy for man, and honestly, man, they really tried to Jussie Smollett, my man. Honestly, I told Bryce when we was looking over the joint before the last show, I was like, are they trying to Jussie Smollett, my man?
It
And
certainly was.
yeah, they really was like they really trying. Oh, because the rope had been there. Like, okay, so they didn't just tie the rope. Like, what kind of stuff is that? Oh, yeah, the rope had been there for months. Like, okay, so that's not the question. Like, oh, the rope had been there for months. Okay, maybe the rope had been there for months, but it wasn't a noose for months. Was it a noose for months? Was it a noose? Was that rope just sitting there? It was used for whatever purpose it was. Whatever you talking about, just because the rope had been there for months doesn't mean it's not a freaking hate crime, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they could have tied the noose last week. Okay, so they tied the noose last week. They had a rope in there. Okay, because the rope was there. It wasn't necessarily a hate crime. Now, how about the rope had been there for months and they decided to tie it into a noose because they knew Bubba Wallace was about to walk in there? Does that not constitute a hate crime? FBI, do better, bro. That's all I gotta say.
And so my whole thing with this, man, is like the first thing is like anybody who wants to try to compare Bubba Wallace to Jussie Smollett, you need to check the damn facts, man. Like first of all, Bubba never even seen the news. Like he probably seen a picture of it just like us, but he wasn't even the one that reported it. Somebody in his camp came to the garage first, seeing the news. So anyone who's trying to say that Bubba was faking this or that Bubba like it's not even comparable. Like that's just spitting ignorant BS. So you obviously, I don't have time for people like that. Like you obviously you ain't even like deep diving and doing any research. So I don't even got time for anybody who wants to compare it to that. That's pure ignorance. The second thing is, man, the FBI, NASCAR, whoever was doing this investigation, the way I see it, all you concluded is that somebody inside NASCAR tied a noose and it wasn't meant for Bubba. So is that if that's your conclusion, somebody inside NASCAR just tied a noose for no damn reason and it was in the only black person's garage. But this isn't a hate crime. Like that is what you concluded. You just concluded some more BS, to be completely honest. NASCAR even came out and said there was 11 ropes in the garages. Only one was a noose. Okay. My next question is, who picks the garages? Why wasn't Bubba in one of the 11 that wasn't a noose, or one of the 10 that wasn't a noose? How did he get in the one that was a noose? Logical thinking lets you know that somebody purposely tied that noose knowing that that was going to be where Bubba was going to be. And that's just logical thinking. NASCAR has somebody inside of it, probably multiple people, in my opinion, that have a problem with this, and they need to figure out how to get to those people and get them out. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. I wasn't too thrilled with the FBI investigation either. I mean, at the end of the day, a noose is a noose is a noose. But to say it's been there since 2019, it's kind of the weakest excuse of all time. I mean, at the end of the day, for you to narrow it down to October, right? You know who was like you would have to know it wasn't there the month before, and then it was there every month after. If you can tell that, then you know who was in that garage. You know what I'm saying? Within that time period. You know what I'm saying? From the date that news didn't exist to whenever day in October, you can track who was in that garage and at least question people. I mean, dude, you're a bureau, my bad. Basically,
I
your
mean,
job's to investigate, man.
it goes to the point. It goes to the
I'm
point
off,
though. Yeah, I mean, you're
I'm off
absolutely
my
right,
data,
bro.
but
It goes to
yeah,
the point of they probably know. They probably know. Like when you break it down, like you right, bro. Like you right. I'll finish the statement for you, bro. You the FBI. Like y'all are the Bureau of Investigations, bro. Like y'all can figure out if okay, it was on this date in October, it wasn't here on this date. Who the hell was in the garage between those dates? Dude, I mean that's what the FBI is, right? Like
cameras everywhere.
that's
Yeah,
what you do.
that's their job, man. They literally investigate things like, and
And,
that's all you can tell me.
and we've seen, well, I don't gotta give anybody a history lesson, but you dig into it a little bit, and you know how some of these investigations tend to go. And just even not even thinking so much about the investigation, but just thinking about the position of a dude like Bubba Wallace. You know what I'm saying? Because you're talking about the only black person in the entire NASCAR, bro. Like that's crazy. That's like one black driver that races NASCAR every weekend. This guy, and he has to go through. Just imagine the things he has to probably go through on a daily basis. And honestly, it just makes me think about all the other situations that athletes get put into. You know what I mean? That based off their athletic talent, that are awkward situations. And we actually had one go down, at least one that's been going down probably for some time, but that someone had the courage to bring up, and that was Akron Wadley out of Iowa, former Iowa running back, had a stint with the Tennessee Titans as well. He was actually a nice little scat back in his days as Iowa. He was a bell cow for them, but in the league, I thought he would translate a little better. He was job like a dog. But just thinking about the fact that this dude was going to Iowa, I can imagine what type of demographic we're talking about in Iowa. I've never been, but I can imagine, And he's talking about racist encounters he had with the head coach, with an assistant coach. He's even talking about how he's got mentors from the school texting him, telling him not to worry about it. Just do what ignore it all. And I mean, one of the accounts was he had on a Scully, a head wrap to wear, because it was so cold in Iowa. You can only imagine how cold it gets in Iowa. But he said the head coach asked him, Akron, where are you about to go rob a bank? And the next time he asked him, Akron, where are you about to go rob a liquor store? And it's like, what kind of rhetoric is that? You as the coach at a prestigious institution, because that is what Iowa is, the university. And it's just a shame. But you got to start imagining what other positions have athletes been put in that are like that, and how many coaches do you have that are actually in these positions of power that are actually walking around with some very evil and malicious intent.
I mean, we know the culture in a lot of locker rooms, in a lot of different sports can be a bit extreme at times, but I don't think we should be in a position, especially in 2020, where we tolerate racism. I mean, think about it. They wrote off Trump's remarks before he was the president as locker room talk, so we just know what locker rooms can be crazy. But this just makes one point to me. You're a black athlete, go to an HBCU. Turn the MEAC into the SEC. You don't have to put up with that. You shouldn't have to put up with that. And Akron even thought about transferring. And, the coach called his mom, talked him out of it. And he said it was his worst, I'm saying? It was a horrible playing experience. He wouldn't recommend anybody going to Iowa. And they didn't even fire the coach. They let him resign. They're paying him for 15 months. Well, they're giving him benefits. He's getting like $500,000 of his $800,000 a year salary. And he's given 15 months to find a new job while they pay for him and his family's medical benefits. I'm not sure where in the world you can be a racist, and I guess in America you can, and not only just resign, but go somewhere and just get a new job and everything's all good. But yeah, man, Iowa's a big problem. I just send your kids to a black college. That's all I'm gonna say on it.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, bro. And I get the opportunity. The opportunity is different at these other schools, big name schools, SEC, Big Ten. But at the end of the day, it's only that way because we make it that way.
Right.
And if we decide that it's not going to be that way anymore, we have that power. And I think it really starts with a nice little domino effect. Because no one really likes to be the first one to do that. Once we have one major prospect do it, I think we'll start to see dominoes fall and it just become a regular thing.
Yeah, I second that notion, T. Honestly, I had this conversation a couple weeks back, man, with David Caputo, man, coach at HBCU, Del State, man. Shout out Del State, shout out HBCUs, man. Honestly, you want to be around people that you can trust and you can feel comfortable with, man. And it don't got to be a racial thing, but it definitely can come down to that. And ultimately, I would stress for all players in these situations, you want to be comfortable and you want to be in a program that you feel comfortable with, that you feel like you actually are being valued and taken care of. And you don't want to have to deal with no nonsense like that, man. As a player, as a person, working for a job, whatever you're doing, man, regardless, nobody wants to deal with that, man. So honestly, this is troubling news. When I hear this type of stuff, it bothers me. So ultimately, man, I'm not saying the answer is to go to HBCU, but you need to be doing a little bit more due diligence into these programs, because these programs necessarily ain't about you, and not trying to single out any type of area and nothing like that. But I will say I am singling them out. FYI. Midwestern, Southern, like be careful. Like that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, and it could happen in the Northeast, it could happen in the West. Like, but I'm just saying, man. Like traditionally, these areas, like, be careful. Like, you know what I'm saying? You walk, you walk to. You said it's Iowa, like it's Midwestern. It's very prairie, like, you know what I'm saying. Be careful. You know what you're walking into, but like, yo, it is like, you know, shoot, I'm gonna take a left. Like, you know what I'm saying? You gotta control your resources, man. Shout out All American. Shout out Spencer Young. You know, feel me? My man said he's taking his talents down to Crenshaw. Like, you feel me? It's a TV show, but y'all can learn something from that. Like real stuff. Like, take your talents down to South Beach. Like, you feel me? Like, you have control over your resources where you want to take it. Like, everybody don't put the power in these major programs. Athletes effectively, if they wanted to, could take the power back and put it wherever they want it to be. Ultimately, the decision is yours, and don't let the decision control you. And that's all I'll say to all my future athletes coming up in the upcoming classes. Make the decision that's best for you, you know? And that's it, man. You feel me? Like, you're an athlete, use the platform. Like, you know, don't make a decision that's wrong for you. Feel me? Like, all these programs, they want you to perform, but are they the right team that's best for you, that's going to want your well-being, actually care about you? That's part of the decision.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what you guys are saying, man, I agree 1,000%. I think you either got the black athletes. We either got to start going to HBCUs, or we got to start weeding out these racist coaches at these other programs, man. But I'm gonna take it a little different direction real quick, because there was something that was on my mind, man, that I seen on social media, and it ties in with this as far as taking racism out of sports. I peeped something, and I want to get your guys' thoughts on this real quick before we finish up. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but there were some racist videos of a certain sports network, I guess, if you will, by the name of Barstool. I believe their owner, I can't pronounce his last name. I'm not even gonna try. I think his name's David something rather. But you know, those guys over there were having a little fun, and you know, they I guess they tell off-color jokes or some kind of ridiculous excuse like that. But the things they said were a little bit off-putting. I mean, they were talking about Kaepernick back when he first kneeled, and they mentioned that he had terrorist skin. And this is the owner of Barstool Sports that said he has terrorist skin. So you know, if they always say they want politics out of sports. Me personally, I want racism out of sports. So if you like racism out of sports, I think you can go ahead and switch over from Barstool and join us here at Good Ass Sports. Because we're for the culture, and the culture is for everybody. So you ain't got to worry about none of that racist BS over here, or anybody talking about someone having terrorist skin. But if that's your cup of tea, you can stick with Barstool. That's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, nah, we the anti-Barstool over here, man. Matter of fact, we waging war, man. This day forward, man. We coming at their necks, because that's unacceptable, man. It's unacceptable in every way, shape, or form. And Good Ass Sports, sports for the culture. We got y'all. We got y'all. We got a positive, safe space, you know, for not only creators to be a part of, but for people to enjoy. And you don't have to worry about any, you know, sideways rhetoric, no matter what your background is, no matter what your race is. You know, we come with positivity towards all, man. We a collective here, man. It's we not good ass sports for black people. We not good ass sports for white people. We not good ass sports for Mexicans. You know, we good ass sports for the culture. You feel me? Like, we sports for the culture. So anybody join on now, because it's never gonna be too late to join on, but it's gonna feel good to say you was one of the first people.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna feel good, man. It's gonna feel super good, man. Talking about platforms, man. Talking about all the things that we done got going on, man. Just in case y'all don't already know, man, I'm gonna let y'all know. Hey, we on Google, we on Apple, we on Spotify, we on everything. So you need to go get with it, man. There's no excuses, man. I don't care if you got like a flip phone. I'm guarantee you, there's a way you can get gas. I'm not talking about a gas station, bro. This is a regularly Tuesday gas up and get right event. Good Ass Sports. If y'all not already following us on the Twitter, on the Instagram, go ahead, follow us at Good Ass Sports, man. No explicitness. It's all straight. No undertones, nothing like that. We give it to you straight, no filter. That's what we do, baby. Rome. What else we got?
Hey, man, we got a ton of content for you. We got articles coming out. We're gonna be all over this NBA season that's about to jump off, all over the football season that's coming out. And yeah, we live every Tuesday, man. With plenty of content just like this for you. And yeah, man, I know a lot of y'all are gonna want to switch over from Barstool, man. Now's the time. I'm telling you. Especially a lot of you Black sports fans, man. I don't want to see y'all supporting the dude that's popping off, running around saying the N-word and all this, man. Like, it's time. Boycott Barstool and hop on over to Gas. That's the wave.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. So you don't already know. As we do it, we're gonna sign it out the only way that we can, because we know what we are. We sports for the culture, baby.
Sports for the culture.
Sports for the
Sports for
culture.
the culture.